right, going to be starting off on the attack here for this pistol round, and well, for the next 12 rounds, I guess, if we're speaking factually here, Golden.
Yeah, that's true. So defense, yeah, they're running kind of similar setup. This is not okay, not exactly, because usually they run their Cypher in mid, but they're stacking A at the start of the round, giving up mid control completely. This is curious, but maybe they have a good read on this because Immortals, 5 men towards A, 1 player with attention towards mid, but he literally just looks at it and backs off right there and then. So this stack probably going to work out pretty well. With this Reyna, too, on pistol round, that 1 Leer that she has can disrupt so much because it takes so much damage from pistols to be able to clear it. But that's another... What is this? Instant dash in from Jet, and so many headshots in favor of BBG. Literally 5 kills, all for this team, and Immortals find nothing in that pistol rush.
Yeah, that was a flurry through for BBG. They were just landing those headshots, as you said, and yeah, it helps to have a little bit stronger firepower, but when you land your shots accurately, it makes it a little less relevant here, and now we're going to be seeing some Bulldogs come online, so a little bit of firepower coming through for BBG, but they're not getting too ahead of themselves just yet.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so now look at this setup too. They're rotating the Cypher around from site to site, which I think is really cool. They're just leaving 1 trip in mid to make sure that no one's pushing up in the market, and that's even more emphasized because the only player that can have push past that without getting spotted. I guess I'll go back to that later. Yeah, that's a nice one. But yeah, the only player that can push past the trips without getting spotted is the Jet because they don't have an Omen. You can just TP, and if the Jet just jumps over it, you're going to hear that. That's super loud. So anyone playing like right below market upstairs or something is going to be aware of that movement. So that trip just cuts off the entirety of mid, which is really nice. That means it can just stack one of these 2 sites, which in this case they've decided it's going to be A.
Yeah, once again we're seeing this team kind of act as a unit. You like seeing that decision making come through, no lack of cohesion coming in there, and now we're seeing the rotation once again, a little bit of the wavering of wills coming in from Immortals as they proceed towards that A site. Koler looking like they're going to be leading the charge here, and Nicolas ready to block offline their sites. And Robwiz getting 3 right off the back. That's why you invest in that Bulldog. And it's going to be the close onto Genghsta from Foe coming in to win this. Another flawless round.
That's gross, dude. My Bulldog doesn't hit like that. I'm just pointing that out right now. I can't. Like, what? I heard a burst, and I'm like, a kill. Okay, fair. Like, the first burst, if you got good aim, it's not that hard to hit because most of the shots just go straight.
Yeah.
Second burst, another kill. I'm like, wait, hold on. You're not going to peek it again, are you? So the third person, a third burst. I'm like, wait, that's not how that gun is supposed to work. But Robwiz showing why he's playing this fragging agent right now, 5-0. Obviously, he spent only 2 rounds, so that's not the most impressive, but still making that Bulldog look great. That's insane from Robwiz.
Yeah, don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here. As we remember, Oxygen Supremacy did win their first 2 rounds. So, and we're seeing it right now. Genghsta striking back with that Vandal, able to get the kills coming through. But now the offensive team looking a little bit scattered. They're not getting entirely to 1 push. Just scouting it out, Arena.
She really wants this fight, and you can see why. Because her utility is only useful when you get these kills, right? So she really wants these engages, which could be eventually a good tell for the side of Immortals. But for now, it's making it work on the defense. They're getting so many kills across the map, and now it's only 3 versus 4. This running back just has no effect on the site at all. Another pick in mid. That's a 1-for-1 trade, even better for the defense. But Asuna does get a kill on a site, so this is looking better for the attack, at least, rotating off to B, because they know all this presence just doesn't exist there. But that's a nice catch from Foe. He gets the next... Okay, he gets some info. The second player knows that this Phoenix is in this position, but just a matter of taking this fight and how he goes around it now.
Yeah, Payen not going to quite be able to rotate around that wall fast enough. Asuna lands the headshot, and with that, it is going to be going over to the Immortals for their first point on the board. And now the monetary situation looking a little bit closer to even here, Golden.
Yeah, so 2-1. That's usually how rounds work out in this game. Like, you lose the pistol, and then you lose the second because you just don't have money. And then you win the next one because you have better rifles. that one actually was pretty impressive again from BBG because they had the worst guns. Like everyone just had the worst guns, and they were able to get aggressive on a bunch of different angles and take those kills by force. There's only that one versus one at the end to end the round. That's pretty good, taking a lot of those full buy guns away from Immortals, even though they won the round. And you can see the buy is probably better for the attacking team. That's something gross, dude. You don't see that every day. Nice read from Nicolas to land that kill through the smoke.
Yeah, absolutely finding a big value there. The Phoenix does get taken out, and now it's going to be a question of how does the attacking team respond to this? They're grouping up their Brimstone, the only one not firmly in the middle. They're going to be pushing through, have to be careful of some of the tripwires. However, you don't want their position revealed too early as they make these decisions. Genghsta does spot out that tripwire though, and now the push looking like it's going to go towards that B site as we see them lining up. We see the abilities coming out. The question is, do the shots land?
Shock dart definitely doesn't, but Nick's looking good this round so far. Another headshot instantly traded by Jcstani, and that's a nice follow-up on a Tork. 2 double headshots from him, and Sight trying to get pressure from Robwiz. He doesn't even get a single knife out as Genghsta just taps him in the face. And now 2 versus 3, looking worse for the retake, but they still have the Reyna. This is what could matter. If he can chain kills together with those heals and getting information with that invulnerability, that might end up making the difference. Because with shots already from the offer back to Sight, the Payen can't land one of his own, and Genghsta shuts down the last one as well. Bo goes down without a single frag of his own in the retake, and keeping 3 alive, they even up the scoreline in this map so far.
Yeah, I believe that once that the bomb went down, once the spike went down, really nothing that BBG felt they could do. They just kind of had to push in, suffer losses. Didn't look too organized from them, so hopefully we see that kind of sharpen up as they get going into these next few rounds, but might not be this round as we're seeing the Arsenal look pretty light.
Don't get rusty.
Yeah, this one's it's kind of rough. Robwiz, he actually doesn't buy anything extra. Maybe just all his util and then that shorty, which is understandable. I think they're doing some massive work if you're playing with that character. And this double peek inside the main traded by JC, so they find nothing off of that other than some damage on Phoenix, which in this case might actually be kind of valuable, especially when you're on those pistols, because he has to use some util, and he used the Molotov not to heal himself, but he used the wall to heal, which is even bigger of a deal because that thing can get you into sights pretty easily. In this case, because again, both teams have no Sage, which we see a lot on Ascent right now.
Yeah, we're seeing this Jet play it patiently. Bo does go down, but Stani has their number, takes them down for the 3rd in this round. And now Sight held by the side of Immortals. They're going to be going for the plant here. Shortly, you have to expect, in fact, they do hear that spike going down as I mentioned it. They're going to be waiting, though. They perhaps are anticipating a little bit of an aggressive retake coming in from BBG.
I wonder, yeah, that's weird. They lost one. No, they haven't lost one.
Planted.
So no one on BBG has guns, so I don't know what they're scared of, but they do get them. I guess they, okay, I guess they just want to hunt. Asuna just long range gets 2 nice little taps on the final 2 players and left maybe at 12 HP, but in retaliation for the damage he sustained at the start of the round, he just takes them both out. And looking really, really nice for Immortal. Well, okay, kind of nice for Immortals. Scoreline says pretty good, but scoreboard might speak otherwise because it looks like it's just kind of a 3 versus 5 right now for IMT, which is interesting.
Yeah, and now we're gonna be seeing if Immortals can kind of carry that with them, as you mentioned. The scoreboard looking a little bit peculiar. A couple members so far not putting anything up. Will that momentum shift for those players? I think that's going to have to remain to be seen.
Joke's over!
Payen getting dropped the orbital strike on, forced into Asuna's line of sight. That's going to be an easy cleanup coming in from the Phoenix. Make it a second as Foe does go down off the back end of that run it back.
Take flight.
Yeah, that's some really nice mechanical skills from Asuna. They're literally just tapping heads. Looked like a drone for a second, but in this case, it's going to be a different player on a different team, but it's still making the same stuff happen. Now, Dicey with the op, watching Heaven, he needs to pull out the shorty to be able to turn for that bolt. but BBG Tork takes out Koler in the meantime, so still not finding the board. Dicey though, he does, and he makes that op sing just temporarily. His teammates are blind, and he turns out to be nearsighted as well, but these attackers, or excuse me, the defenders attacking the bomb site to reclaim it seem to not want to go for it, because that's quite a bit of pressure to deal with. 4 players, 1 op even wanting to take you down off that heaven position, so they're just going to be trying to save these weapons. Asuna on the hunt already. He's literally knife out running. This is really bold from him, because he could be holding any of these angles, but he's confident enough to just run all the way through and Nick has the angle. That's a free kill, but at least he tried, right? Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, at least you tried. It's going to cost you, but the rest of your team managed to keep their stash, so you're going to be accepting of that. Maybe not okay with it, maybe not happy about it, but you'll have to accept it. As we move forward here, it looks like BBG able to recompile themselves into some more beefier firepower, and right now it's just going to be Payen not rocking a rifle.
Oh yeah, that's yeah, their money is a bit weird, but yeah, I guess they lost the second round. They lost the previous round, so sitting a bit rough. He's going to be up on A. Double aggression on A main, and no one on the attack from Immortals is going to be there. 5 people towards this B main. Literally nothing towards mid either. They're full clearing sight. Nice flash. Takes out the first player, and he's even nearsighted and gets the headshot in Nicolas too. That's a fast sight take. 20 seconds, and they have full control.
Yeah, so far looking real good. Asuna has been a monster so far. So let's get the 4th with the wall bang. It's going to be the Jet on the retreat here. You got to think built by gamers. Just going to be holding out. Robwiz not wanting to get too heady into themselves on that 5v1.
This is, dude, he walks in. Perfect flash on the first guy. He's retreating, trying to b-hop off the stairs, and he hits him in midair, and the second player paranoias him, and he just sprays through the darkness and finds that shot, and then follows up with 2 more. He's not gonna get the ace because he's just he literally, you can tell he wants it. He's hungry.
Yeah, but
Robwiz isn't gonna give that to him. Gonna take another gun off the board as well. They're peeking him a lot. They're actually maybe feeding a bit much to him, but I don't think he's gonna out alive. Yeah, that's a nice peek from Dicey. Double swing from A main as well from his teammate Brim. So they take the op out. That's a pretty big hit to the economy, because you saw at the beginning, you mentioned as well, one of the players didn't even buy full, and now they can't even buy for him, saving that gun for another round.
Yeah, so fortunately, we are not going to be seeing them be absolutely spent for cash. We are going to be seeing Robwiz hop out with that op on board. After that performance, I can understand why you might feel a little bit more comfortable with that, but still, the question becomes, does BBG let this cash disparity continue, or particularly in Payen right now, it's looking pretty difficult.
They're going to keep forcing. It's going to be rough, because like Cypher too, his kit's not the cheapest. It might not be a Sage, like, it's not that.
Right.
But his kit is pretty like pricey. Like both his trips are 200. He's got 2 cages that's 100 each, so it's 600 for util. Just in general, and he's buying down to 14. So if they keep losing, he just can't buy. Like, he literally cannot get the full kit ever. And that's, I don't know how I feel about that one. Oh, okay. Looks like we do have a pause. I'm not entirely sure if it's tech or tack, but we'll just sit here for a second. But yeah, wondering about that round. It's a bit strange how they're forcing up. Maybe I can tell they have faith, right? And they have every right to have faith. Their opera's definitely waking up, more so than on Immortals, and they're sending him as well as the Cypher on the light buy onto A, and yeah, game resumed nice and quick. Information gained already on this player. That's a nice ultimate that's going to come out. Probably going to land a kill. Yeah, it's a free one and a Payen, because he doesn't have that much room to move. And another ultimate coming out, but Robwiz, wait, that's a, okay, he gets 2 op kills and shuts down the ultimate by the Jet as well on the enemy team, but gets shut down by his own teammate. So it's a bit of a blunder by them. 3 versus 3, could have been a 3 before, like you said, but now retake potential pretty decent, because the one player without a rifle is no longer in the equation. So everyone on the board, probably a pretty even playing field. One player inside of hell, one player at the door player falls, and Genghsta has to peek in to save his teammates from the round loss, but it's not going to happen. Tork and Nicolas stereo frags at the end of the round to claim the 3rd.
And that was so dangerous for Built by Gamers, right? You lose the player who has the least amount of economy first to that Sova ult, and then your own team frags out somebody who is absolutely in the middle of popping off, getting the 2 kills with the ops. That was the most precarious position. Payen was the name I was thinking of. That is such a moment where your team is either make or break. At least in all of my games, that's where the tilt either goes out the window or I know it's going to be a great game. So I don't know. I'm glad to see the swing back come in from Built by Gamers. They're looking optimistic. They went on a little bit of a loss streak for the last 5 rounds, but they're able to clean it up, get the defuse, and now they're able to breathe a little bit here, Golden.
Yeah, that's actually a really nice retake from them too, because making up for that team kill, that's not an easy thing to do. And the strangest thing, I think, that's a nice kill from Robwiz, a nice pick off in mid, because they don't smoke him off or anything from off a cat. But yeah, like I said before, the weirdest thing is about these rounds are that they're keeping the Cypher broke. He still doesn't have a gun, so I'm not entirely sure how much value he's going to bring to these rounds. But I mean, if it works, it works. Okay. And like you said last game, this is that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters is you get the rounds.
Right.
And oh wait, he just what? Okay, I guess he has a never mind. I'm lying. Bad caster.
Well, enough to save. They've been pinching their pennies a little bit, Payen ready to get back into this battle with something. And Asuna, it's been feeling like they've played this alleyway for a little bit. Now going to be looking to push onto that B angle. The question is, what do they manage to find? Koler kind of on their own. Nicolas taking down that Sova dart immediately, not letting themselves get revealed any quicker than they have to.
Oh, spot in the back, a bit of info. That's a bad flash, and that's gonna pay.
Oh.
Nicolas with a headshot, Payen with another one, and even more kills. Jcstani, the only player on the attack to get a kill so far, and he needs to find all 5. He sees the gun, so he's a bit scared to peek though, because this other player from the stairs is gonna have his angle as soon as he tries to go for this kill. And it's so tight. He does get Nicolas and another chance because this player whiffs on the site. 6 bullets and he gets taken out as well. Jcstani now on for the ace. 9 seconds to plant, and he doesn't have time to fake this. They have to peek him, and Robwiz gets the shot. Yes. So that's the shutdown for the side of BBG. That got a bit too close for comfort, though.
Yeah, that was a little tense. The hairs on the necks of BBG standing up, perhaps just a little bit. So now, as we look forward, I gotta say, I was talking about economies and stuff like that. I was excited to see Payen get a kill. Moving forward, now I just got to root for Koler. We're gonna see them get some points on that board at some point, Golden. I promise. I'm hoping. I'm rooting for them. I'm sending them my caster vibe. Hopefully not caster curse.
Yeah, no, that's like, I pray not. This guy, I know the things he can do. I've seen this man play before, and he's more talented than 08 Cypher. Oh, a timing shot. That's rude. Asuna goes down. That's one of the best fraggers on the side of Immortals, and not playing this round.
Ooh, and Robwiz is gonna be dashing out of the way of that orbital strike. The zone gonna now be just provided. Actually, 2 Immortals are not able to get too aggressive with that push. It does block off the only entryway. And now we're gonna be seeing what their route is. They're still stacked up like they want to push that A option. However, their bomb carrier hanging back, waiting for the pivot, keeping eyes on their back. Info receives the smoke from the Brimstone, but Brimstone having that patience to not push ahead too quickly. Robwiz takes the turn, gets it. The Brimstone not keeping eyes up, and Robwiz finding a second. Will they find another? It's going to be Payen swinging back, and Robwiz does eventually find the third with that. Defenders now make this an even 5v5. We got a match.
Honestly, the first couple rounds, like the first 7, I was like, okay, Immortals are showing up, dude. These guys are here to play. And even with 2 of their players not showing up on the scoreboard, I'm like, they're already 5-2 up? That's a pretty big deal. And BBG are like, wait a minute, hold on. We're kind of here, right? We're playing the game too. And those 2 players not being on the scoreboard might start biting them in the butt, considering that only 3 are considerably fragging. But yeah, those kinds of picks too at the start of the round from Robwiz, moving around the map. They have no idea what this man is playing at the start. One time in B main, this time on cat. Gonna whiff 1 shot, but likely not gonna have that mistake again.
Yeah, and now we're seeing that has bought the offensive team a little bit of space here. Immortals now feeling a little bit freer, knowing that Robwiz gonna have to rechamber, and they do back up. Asuna goes in with the curve ball. Robwiz tries to make the shot, doesn't quite land it, however, but they don't get collapsed on, luckily, so not too far in the mud just yet for BBG. We're gonna be seeing Robwiz go in with the Q9 knives out. Tork taking the mantle of sniper for this team. Does eventually get the kill, and we're seeing
I
right
know
now just kills back and forth. Koler does get two with the Sheriff. That's that caster's luck I was talking about a little bit earlier. Cleaning up with the Vandal as well as was looking so good for the side of BBG. But Robwiz does play back and with the second defenders manage.
Oh, the right click. Just to show off a tiny bit in 6-5. Yeah, that's their first lead they've had in quite a long time because they've won on a loss streak, but now 4 in a row from them. That's some nice showing from Robwiz. But yeah, that Koler 3K in that round, if I'm correct. That's a good one with a judge, no less. So that was on a light buy. See what he can do now, because it seems that that round was his wake-up call. That round was just like, okay, we're here. Sorry, guys.
We're at the
take some
point.
coffee.
Yeah, we are now in the land of Odin. 2 Odins make it. They'll be coming onto the field for BBG. And this is some heavy artillery coming in. Robwiz getting aggressive with that operator.
Yeah, I thought that Odin was gonna do something. I saw like 3 people outside B. I'm like, wait a minute, the Silva's ready. But they actually get no damage. Oh no, they get damage. The Phoenix is healing himself with a wall. I guess that's another thing about the Sageless comps. I'll say again, not only do you not have the heals, you don't have the reses, which is quite a big deal when such a big fragger like Asuna gets picked off at the start of the round, like he did a couple rounds back. This time, of course, not having that luxury, BBG at least. But yeah, the fact that you don't have that second chance, you know, as I say that, as soon as he's gonna pop his second chance, run it back all the way through sight, clearing out so much space for his team to just walk on in, a frag on Nicolas and the last player in the back of sight. Dicey's gonna take him out as well, so full B control for the attack of Immortals.
Yeah, and you think BBG should have known that. They sent the Sova drone in, it gets taken down, but by that point they can at least see the 3 members from Immortals stacked up. So perhaps it's a little too quick or a little too slow to respond, rather. And now they have this monumental task of trying to really get these tides turned. And Koler getting the headshot wallbang through and through is just gonna be Rob and Reyna. Foe and Reyna. Foe does drop eventually, and Koler starting to come into their own. I'm a fan here, but it's gonna be the attackers taking it before the bomb even detonates.
Koler, I'm so proud. He like, how many kills have we seen, might I add, in this map where the player just hasn't seen the other player? Like, there's been like smoke kills, wall bangs all over the place. Like Robwiz got one like 2 rounds ago in A main. Like, what the heck? But Koler showing up, yeah, 5 to 10 now. He literally multiplied his kills by infinity in like what, 2 rounds? 3 to 5. He's waking up, and that lets them tie up the half. Gotta imagine though, like if he woke up a bit earlier, this half would be a lot farther apart than what it is right now. But I mean, hindsight's 2020, right? So we're going to this half even 6-6.
Yeah, and so far, it seems like BBG lining up to get really aggressive towards that B direction. And he's sending in the Paranoid. Not too much with it though. Robwiz does find an early kill onto Genghsta. Question is, can it maintain? Robwiz gets taken down. That's a big loss for the side of BBG. Koler finding the second with that ghost. The bomb does get planted, but they need to keep their heads on a swivel. They've managed to secure the point, but it's not out of the woods just yet.
What happened to this man? Man, literally getting every frag. Jcstani able to tag along with him as well. And now Tork, as well as Payen, playing aggressive. They want to get past these smokes. And Dicey, he manages to catch one off guard, but in turn he baits his teammate, and he goes down to the last player. Excuse me, that was the wrong jet that I talked about there. But Dicey actually finishes off the last kill on Payen. That's a bit unfortunate that the timing was like that. But yeah, valiant effort from him. And opening up the round as well. Able to get the 2 frags onto the players pushing through A main after his teammate fell. I think it was, yeah, Koler. Really nice showing, and now he's at 7. I hate to like harp on the numbers so much, but the fact that he was at 0 literally 3 rounds ago, and now he's done so much for their team to take so many rounds in a row, or excuse me, 2 rounds, I guess. But yeah, that's a pretty big deal. And if they're gonna stay at this rate, this half might be kind of a runaway.
Where are you?
See, I tend to agree, but the question we've seen is Robwiz. Once that op comes online, does Immortal manage to maintain that same momentum? We've seen some big kills coming through, multiple kills coming through from the op in a round. Robwiz going over the top like an old school wrestler, runs right in front of that Cypher, doesn't land it. Koler comes out dominant, then falls to Payen. And now it's all looking good for this attacking team. They are going to play Dicey. Has to try to make it happen.
Oh, wait, that's a fast headshot on the Dicey's, and a flash, and he's taken out. Asuna, good utility usage to clean up, because that got a bit scary. The fact that he instantly dinked the first guy and just took him out, that was a full play. That's not supposed to happen. But nice try. But 8-6 for Immortals.
However, we get into that third round that you were talking about a little bit earlier, Golden, where we start to see the superior firepower now switch to the other side. We'll see if that remains true. Dicey gonna be hopping onto that op, so not extremely overpowered from BBG, but still a couple of Bulldogs rocking the way of Immortals.
Yeah, you mentioned too, Waltham, like Robwiz, usually on that operator. This time they don't have enough money to buy it. And even so, like on attack, it's a bit harder to use for certain people. Like Wardell can obviously do it. The man's a god. So Robwiz has to show the same prowess if they're going to make the same stuff happen. Because now they are down 2 rounds with an op on the defense. So this might be pretty difficult for their task to do. But he did get smoked off. So again, that's good utility usage from the side of BBG. Did not get picked off that cat angle instantly. And now Koler all the way back at spawn is going to get the information that these players are inside of market already. So warning the B players that are in the back of sight. Excuse me, there are none. Okay. Interesting stat. Pushing through mid, Asuna. He almost whiffs a shot, but at least takes down 1 after Bo gets 1 kill of his own. But stereo frags from the defense, excuse me, from the attack, make it better off from them until Jcstani gets a trade off. And 3 versus 3 and sight now for the attack. BBG getting a spike planted.
Yeah, they do get that spike planted, and now we're going to be seeing Immortals trying to push in. We're going to be sweeping through here. It's a 3-on-3 as mentioned. And looks like Immortals taking their time, not letting themselves get too carried away. Tork, however, does manage to find Jcstani and Asuna, so it's just going to be dicey on this jet. They're looking to get away, it seems. They're not going to be holding themselves too far, but they get revealed, so that's going to be a good indicator from the attacking team that they're not going to have to worry about that jet push again.
Revealing area.
They're not even going to hunt her, which is interesting because they probably know she has that off, but letting her get away, wanting to preserve their own lives, probably not the dumbest idea. I like it. And he just runs into both trips. So at least they have the information on where Scythe places them, but at least a round back for BBG. Nice attack. That was an interesting defense. Like I mentioned the players inside of B getting warned about the player in market that just dashed through, but then there were no players in B. So I'm like, okay. That didn't end up working for them, so maybe they change it up. Maybe he got taken out. I don't know. I'll take the blame for that. I didn't pay complete attention to the minimap that round, but I mean, we'll see what happens this time.
And now it's looking like another light round coming through for the side of Immortals. They do still have that op, as we mentioned. Dicey looking to just run away, not give it up instead, but they're holding down that angle on B, keeping their eyes peeled, making sure that they don't get too far ahead of themselves. And Nicolas just peppering through some smokes, not to find anything.
What is that angle? Wait, that's in spawn. I thought that was like outside of Gelato, because you can stand on like the awning of Gelato, but that's a new one. I don't know. He didn't even. Wait, he might have used a teleport to get there. That's an interesting use of util. Because I don't know if that's worth it, especially if you don't get a pick from there. That's a bit of waste, but I mean, they don't lose a life, so I guess kind of worth. And they get the information, driving back off the A aggression, and now all through the main. Tork, a nice entry, pistol frags from the defense though. Koler gets 1, and Dicey still with the op here, so man advantage for the defense. Both these attackers, they want nothing to do with this B, and rotating back towards their mid where they know it's probably clear. But look at that Phoenix. Good read from Immortals. As soon as it's going back towards A, sending their attention back towards the other parts of the map. And these attackers of BBG just lost for the time being, seeing where they want to go with 30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, the time is definitely not in their favor, given how long we've seen the characters get picked up by Zombie, but put immediately back down as Built by Gamers now suddenly up in a 2v1. That Jet's really going to have to pop off and get those kills. We talk about the Jet having to be the fragger. This is when Dicey needs to prove it.
I mean, how much can he do with this op? This Cypher in the back cannot peek. He cannot give his life up because this player, Tork, stuck in the middle of sight. He literally cannot move from the screen boxers. He's probably going to get picked. Checking the corners. They're giving him so much time to work these windows. One spot, and the knife's out. Smokes as well. Blaze Storm going to come through, but Payen, preemptive fire through that smoke, takes out Dicey with a bullet to the face. That's a nice one. 8-8. Another even round count for this game. BBG versus Immortals. This is a heck of a title. I didn't think we'd see this one get this close.
Yeah, Payen, I have to give it to him. That fire through the smoke, absolutely excellent and crucial. Dicey sees them a moment sooner. They're able to fire off all those knives right into the gut, take them down instantly, no problem. But The pressure definitely on Dicey because of that timer from the spike to detonate, you know, as soon as it does expire, giving the win. So you have to be a little bit responsive there. And it just seemed like Dicey kind of felt the pressure a bit, but more so just cheers to the side of BBG.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. Like, that's the fact that he just like thinks to fire through the smoke too. Like, not many people would think to do that, especially on a higher level, because like at that point it's like, okay, you just reveal the location. Like, he could be anywhere. He could be wrapping B main for all that matters, but he's like, I'll take the risk, knowing that he's gonna hit the shot anyways. It's really nice.
Yeah, oh, and the Hunter's Fury going to be landing right into that cage. Genghsta able to get 2 off the back end because of it. The tripwire slowing everybody down. Koler cleaning up the rest with just 1 left standing. It's the Sova. It's not looking great for BBG right now.
Wow, that was a bit of a blunder from the attacking. I'll go back to that in a second, because that's a shot from Tork. That's a really nice one. Instant headshot, but Dicey, yeah, not much you can do about that one. But yeah, a bit of a blunder from the attacking Jet. That was weird, because I think she tried to dash through the door to delete the tripwire, which is something that most Jets will do for their team, just to let everyone else walk through. But she dashed into the wall, so it's bit of a misplay from Rob. Like, he's better than that, so we'll count that as a mistake, 1 round. But this time, light buy, because that really kind of screwed with their economy that round.
Yeah, that was a tough loss. I mean, you can see how that one mistake just kind of compounds into capitalization of so many more advantages for Immortals. They're going to be feeling themselves here off the back end of that, knowing that their opponents might be a little bit flustered, but hopefully BBG able to regroup, recollect themselves, and now we're seeing them go for this push right through mid towards that A route. But Dicey with the off mid to find Robwiz early on, that's got to hurt.
Nice shot, yeah. Just dry peeking into that op, not the best idea. Jcstani as well. 2 kills, 1 on a Tork, and another follow-up, a third. And Asuna attacks along. 8-10. That's a fast round. It might have been a save, but nice little clips for each of these individual players to put on their Twitters, likely. So yeah. 10 rounds, 2 ahead. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm getting information from chat that it's Jcstani and not Stani. Apologies.
Ah, okay. Well, good to know, Jcstani. But as we look ahead once again, it's going to be the rifles coming out now for BBG. As we can see, no ops this time around. Rob not going to be able to elect into that. We'll have to see if that affects their playstyle this time around. Although I don't think we've seen a whole lot of ops coming out of the offensive team here for this half.
No, yeah, that's true. It's been interesting. Rob has been favoring the rifles. Look at this drone movement from Genghsta. That's insane. Like, that's something that you can't really do in most places of the map, because the drone, it has a limit. Like, it has a height limit. It can't go too far in the sky. But you find these spots every once in a while. This is a nice brimstone, forcing 2 away, and Bo gets caught through it. But I'll get back to my point in a second. Nicolas with another trade onto Asuna, and then another headshot into Jcstani. So not going to replicate his success in the previous round with the 3K. Nicolas on for that himself. And now the round slows down. But yeah, like I mentioned, the drone, it can't get too high. But there's this, like, certain places on, usually it's this map on Ascent, there's one in A main as well, where there are like lampposts that you can like fly your drone above and get extra height above the limit, which is what he did. So really nice to get that info, and even nicer from Koler to get that frag onto the player pushing for Cat as well.
Yeah, now we're going to be seeing Built by Gamers try to push into this A site. They're going to have to be going up against that Cypher who protects them all. Koler gets the 4. But, I mean, there's just a Sova left. Tork has to make it happen. We've seen this time and time before where Tork is the last one standing. The question is this one of those times where he succeeds?
20 seconds. So the kill is the gun is spotted and taken out. I would have said if Dicey didn't have the awareness to check his back, maybe Tork wins that, wraps around heaven, and just sprays down 2. But, yeah, he's a bit too smart for that one, Dicey. Even though he's playing the Jet. Gotta admit, he's got the brain for it.
Yeah, it certainly seems so here. As we push ahead, Dicey, I feel like they've been on this op pretty much non-stop here. And, you know, we're looking at the leaderboards here. Dicey not extremely outperforming their team, but that consistency sometimes can be the threat that the opper needs to provide. And I think Dicey's been doing a bang-up job thus far. As we can see, the entirety of BBG looking like they might be pushing right into the angle of that op if I'm not careful.
Oh, I think that was actually a pretty decent read too. No, that was a Sova. Oh, this is Genghsta firing those shock darts, and it takes the opposing Sova down to really low health. Ult's coming out. Dicey with a shot, though. Before that, Robwiz takes out him right along with Koler. Two nice frags with the Bulldogs, just pushing on a site to his foe. Misses a shot. Genghsta has his back. And a bullet to his brain as well.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Just gonna be the defenders getting some clean up here. Not sure the run it back was as necessary, but they're gonna be match point here, 8-12. And I gotta say, Golden, I don't think we've seen a whole lot come out from Foe outside of those first few rounds where they really seemed like they were making Reyna work. And this is the question: is it just seeming like Immortals are adapting too quick?
Yeah, sir, that's I was about to point that out, but like it's I don't know, it's hard to say, especially when you're not looking directly at a screen. But with the stuff that Reyna provides, it's pretty telling from the scoreboard itself. It's kind of rough because like, yeah, like all she does is get kills. Not entirely sure how much her leers are mattering, because usually you would expect her to do better on attack, at least for her team, right? But not that many rounds have been won by the side of BBG. That's a nice double peek, but you know, that's not something you need Reyna for, right? You can just do that with anyone. It is still good that they do have this team coordination, but maybe better on a different agent that might be providing more than just your kills. Because like that too, Tork got the frag, not even the Reyna.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing Dicey get those lines of sight choked down by that Omen. So some good, perhaps, mitigation coming in from Nicolas. As we can now see, it's going to be the slow push, despite numbers advantage coming in from Immortals, from BBG. And Jcstani going to be trying to make it here, but the curveball from Asuna doesn't provide much.
Oh no!
Robwiz misses the knife, but does manage to get out of harm's way for the time being. And he has the opportunity to drop the smokes, but Foe takes them down. And this is so far so good. The fuse needs to come out. That Silva shock dart from Genghsta gonna be hitting Robwiz, not allowing that respite from the BBG team. As now we're seeing Dicey take advantage of the distance from that up, the damage as well.
There they are.
Bomb ticking down. The question is, will it become a factor? This fight going underway. The wraparound tries to come through Silva. Both Silva's just dueling it out, trying to land the shots. The defuse gonna be coming through.
Yeah, that's the game as well. Well played by Genghsta to win that 1v1. He was playing time so hard, but eventually able to win out that fight because he just has more bullets in the gun, unfortunately, for the side of BBG. But yeah, winning out that map 13-8. So fairly good performance from both teams in the first half, but then Immortals is running away with it on the second. That's crazy how good their defense was.
Yeah, and I mean, we are taking a quick look at the scoreboard here.